Hi, folks. My name is Girish, the host for Back to Basics, another Back to Basics for another week for season 3. Today, we're going to speak with Jake Rosenberg, and we're going to find out the details of who he is and what he is. We're going to find out skincare, how to handle it, the do's and the don'ts when it comes to skincare. How sensitive are they? Are they sensitive? What do we need to do? Are there a quick fix or is it a long term? That's what we need to find out. I mean, there's no secret sauce, but it's just the way to do it. That's the key. And today we're going to find out from Jake. So let's speak with Jake and let's get to know him better. Talk to you there. Hi, folks. My name is Girish Belli. As I said earlier in my intro, today we're going to speak with Jake Rosenberg, as I said. Now, today we're going to talk about skincare and we're going to talk about the details of it. And we're going to talk about what to do and what not to do. And that's what I said earlier. But what we're going to do is something a little different. Let's find out the details, the ingredients of why skincare is so important in our worlds. I mean, it is a vessel that we live in. How do we take care of that vessel? That's the main question. So why don't we talk to Jake and let's find out. Jake, how are you? And thanks for coming to Back to Basics.
Thanks for having me on, man. Appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you again for coming. But before we talk about the skincare and everything else, what we talk about, what you do and what you don't do, what does Back to Basic mean to you?
Well, it's the same thing in a metaphor with basketball. And like the best players, they always talk about just practicing the fundamentals, like, Tim Duncan or Kobe or Michael Jordan. It's if you can't get the fundamental things right, you can't get the, ancillary or extras right. From marketing to a formula and anything. If we nail, for instance, a formula, that's the most important thing. That's the product someone's going to use. We can have all the best ads in the world, but if we get it into your hands and the formula isn't unbelievable, no one's going to buy it again. And our business is a repeat customer business. So for me, you just have to get the basics and the fundamentals of kind of anything you're doing down, from marketing to production, fulfillment. Then you can optimize within that. But a lot of people like to skip to the end and do fancy packaging, do spend big budgets on ads, and they're not doing the basic things that you know would work better and cost less.
Yeah, yeah. Jake, thank you again for answering that question. And thank you again for coming here on Back to Basics for season 3. You know, why is skincare so important? As I said earlier, I mean, it is a vessel that we live in, right?
Yeah.
But need to take care of it. But do you think that's a normal thing to do, or a lot of people don't take care of it?
Well, I mean, a lot of people do skincare. They just don't necessarily do it right or enough. Um, a lot of people don't do it at all, and it's funny to me because back in the, I don't know when it started, probably the 20s, 30s, 40s. A lot of these products, face wash and perfume and things like that, they were deemed as for women, and then men had a whole separate thing that guys could do. But it really doesn't make any sense, because if I wash my face with a bar of soap, it's going to do negative things. And if I wash my face with a better facial cleanser that's just formulated better, it's just going to take care of my skin better. And there's both a health reason and a looks reason. Like, everyone wants to look better, everyone
Mm,
wants to look younger.
mm,
Obviously, it's just helpful for a million reasons. Everyone can kind of project their own reasons why on that. But then the skin health part is huge. It's like, I'm 32. I have like no wrinkles because I take care of my skin for 30 to 45 seconds a day. It's like my skin is just healthier. I don't have as many issues. You know, I've had acne, I've had a scar on my nose, I've had other things that were pretty, terrible. And it's just, now I appreciate like having mostly problem-free skin because I make and found the right products. It's just one less thing in life to worry about. We all have a million things to worry about. It's like your
mm.
skin shouldn't be one of them.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you again for that. But it's too much investment when it comes to creams, when it comes to facials, when it comes to any other
Yeah.
cosmetic, right? I mean, well, I shouldn't say that because cosmetic is different than skincare. So we're going to get
Yes.
into that details too. But it is a lot of investment when it comes to skincare. Am I right?
What do you mean by investment? You mean money or time, effort, or all of it?
I guess all of it, right?
Yeah. that's what Crete that's why our slogan is 30-second skincare. It's because, with the value equation that we want to give our customers, everyone can claim some aspirational image of you're going to have amazing skin, you're going to look younger, you're going to have healthier skin. That's great. Most companies will figure out some way to do that with some clever phrase. But then the denominator is the amount of time and effort and money that it costs to get there. And that's something that a lot of people don't pay attention to. So our tagline is 30-second skincare because it's our brand promise that we don't want you spending any time and effort on this. It's not a cheap product. It costs what it costs on purpose. We, import ingredients from Switzerland and all these, and it's the highest level of chemistry. So, but as far as the brand promise, it's like you're not going to spend more than 30 seconds figuring out what this product does, and all of our products take 30 seconds or less to use. So
Hmm.
we really eliminated most of the investment that you actually need to make.
Hmm.
And if you think about what a $30 bottle of serum is, if that's like the only product you need to use, that's $1 a day to have great skin. That's
Hmm.
gonna offset a lot of other issues that you're gonna have that are gonna cost time, money, and just make you feel bad, like
Hmm.
skin issues in general. So
Hmm.
it's really like an incredibly minor investment. The reason I started Crete was because I had a ski accident, got a scar on my nose. It's still there. I actually, I needed concealer, I needed hyaluronic acid serums, and a couple of things. And when I walked into Sephora, which was the only place I knew that may have them, and I'd never been in there before, it was like, oh, this is going to take me hours to just sort out what products I even need in the first place, let alone the million brands, let alone if they're good ingredient. It was so much that's why I started Crete, is so that other guys wouldn't have to do that. We did
Hmm.
it for you, essentially.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah.
But thank you again for that. I'm gonna give you an example. A mixologist creates a drinks for cocktails. Bartender takes that whatever the mixologist does. Is there something that the skincare people do that we need to understand that whoever's in the store knows better or knows worse or enough education?
Well, with any system you walk into, there's going to be you have to look at the incentives. That's just a life lesson, a business lesson, whatever you want to call it. You have to look at the incentives of whoever's talking to you. The person at Sephora, what credentials, and I'm not really a credentials guy, but like you need at least basic credentials to be able to sell me something that involves chemistry. What credentials do these people have and what's their incentive? Well, their incentive is to sell you as much product as they can from probably whatever brand is they have a deal with, whatever's trending. They don't know what's in these bottles. They just say hyaluronic acid is good. Okay, you should get the serum. They don't know what preservatives are in them. They don't know what molecular weights or Daltons of hyaluronic acid is in them, which do various different things. Film formers and coating your face versus penetration of your skin to hydrate it. So it's like they just didn't know anything. In fact, my issue was like the whole industry is called the beauty industry, or we like to call it the handsomeness industry now for guys, but they were using words like brighten, contour, and beautify, and I'm like, I don't even know what those mean. So that's the problem. It's like for cosmetics and maybe the like more, that which is not what we do. Those places are great because it's not about the chemistry. It's about like putting something on and looking a certain way immediately. But for
Hmm.
actual skin health and the health chemistry of it, I wouldn't trust those people at all. You walk into a place, they just are trying to sell you more stuff. They don't know what they're talking about.
Hmm.
Um, I actually learned chemistry and formulated our products, so that's why I have such a strong dislike of the current system. Let's say, even with some of our competitors who focus on formulas, they all take shortcuts, and I just don't understand why.
Hmm.
Because at the end of the day, if your product works, your customers will come back. And so some of our competitors, we've seen them like, you know, they run an ad for a day and it's gone, then ad for a day and it's gone. We know that they're having some problems with retention, and we don't have that. We have a less than 1% return rate.
Hmm.
So I don't
But
know. Finding experts is hard. Do you go to an esthetician? Do you go to a doctor? It's like, well, no, honestly, just come to Crete. We make it easy, and here's why. If it's always we always have the information if you want to know, but also we give you the 30-second summary if you don't.
hmm. But Jake, thank you again for that. But going to these stop stores are technically cosmetic stores, right? So dermatologists are obviously telling you about skincare and the diseases and whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
Do you think the dermatologist will know what you need to do and guide you? Because it seems like as a
Yeah.
consumer, we're kind of lost, right? I mean, where do we go?
So a dermatologist is a pretty extreme version. You usually would only go to one if you're having like a pretty serious skin issue. Like our stuff doesn't tackle like systemic acne or other or like things you may need Accutane or other medicines for. And I've never had to take that, so I don't know if it works. Obviously, we don't. Essentially, the FDA breaks it down into different categories: medicine, medical devices, OTC or over the counter, and then the lowest one is a cosmetic. So a
Hmm.
cosmetic is like the lowest level of regulation. So skincare and cosmetics, which is like makeup, lipstick, whatever, those are all in that category of cosmetic, as in they affect the way you look and not as much like the structure of your skin. So if you're going to a place, if it's not like a serious issue, uh, like for instance, salicylic acid for acne, that's OTC. That's a little bit higher
Hmm.
of a regulation. If
Hmm.
you're just looking for like general skin health, yeah, you want to be with a company like ours. If you have a serious issue, we're not tackling more serious things because that becomes more medical, and that's just not our business now.
Hmm.
But yeah, it's interesting because there are just a couple of truths, like hyaluronic acid at certain molecular weights works to hydrate your skin. Why other companies use different molecular weights of it, we don't know. We know
Hmm.
tested their products, they don't work well.
Hmm.
So, an expert is all relative. I've been to a million conferences. I've heard experts talk who have less than no idea what they're talking about. They just have never been told no by someone who actually researched it.
Hmm.
So,
Hmm.
you know,
Yeah, Jake, thank you again for that. But are there tips that you can give us as to when it comes
yeah.
to skincare and what do we need to do or don't do? I mean, give us a
Yeah.
top three if you
I
like.
would say the 3 main things are the first is that, you gotta clean your face. We're coming out with a facial cleanser, but for now, it's like the Roche-Posay or some of these other companies, like, they make a good facial cleanser. The problem with soaps and, like, using body wash on your face, which I'm guilty of, that was me my whole life. I would just, like if I was out of that, I'd probably use shampoo as body wash. Like, that was me my whole life. I didn't really care. The problem with those is they can strip certain oils and other things. It's overkill. Soap just takes everything off, and you want to take only the dirt and other things off. So, cleaning your face. The second is hydrating. That's what our facial serum does. That's this right here. It's
Mm.
small but super concentrated. So, like 2 drops covers your face, and it works. So, if you have clean and hydrated skin, that's kind of the bare minimum of maintenance. Then for preventative, the sun is like the worst thing for skin health and aging. I don't know if you've ever been to like Venice Beach in California near LA, but you have these guys in their like 40s and their faces look like leather gloves because they've just been surfing and out all day. So SPF, the 30 plus, usually broad spectrum. Hopefully it's mineral based. And yeah, that was a lot of specifics, but basically some sort of sunscreen that's mineral based because that will do preventative stuff. And we're working on one of those as well. Those are a little higher regulatory, so they take a little more time.
Mhm. But Jake, thank you again for that. But you said not to go into the sun, but we do need sun because of vitamin D,
Yeah,
right?
you need a
So,
certain amount of
so,
sun.
so is it
Yeah.
a sometimes you do and sometimes you don't type of situation, or just not at all?
Well, SPF means sun protection factor. So it's really about blocking these certain things. When you hear broad spectrum, it's talking about the spectrum of like the light. There's the what is it? Infrared, visible light, ultraviolet light on the spectrum of of light. And so the ultraviolet lights are really harmful. So broad spectrum protection, I think there's like UVA and UVB, and they protect you from that while still allowing you to get some sun. So that's kind of the reason to wear a daily SPF 30.
Hmm.
And then mineral versus chemical. The mineral works better and it's not as bad for you.
Hmm.
So the chemical's cheaper, and that's why companies do it. Avobenzone and some of those other chemicals will sting your eyes. I don't know if you've ever used it and it's running your eyes and it stings. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a chemical sunscreen. Do not use those. Those are poisonous.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, so I'm guilty as anyone of just like when I walk to the store, so a couple blocks, I'm not putting sunscreen on. But if I'm going to be out all day and you're going to get hours of exposure, do it because essentially what it does is it minimizes the amount of that damage you're going to get over time. So if you have 3 hours of exposure, maybe you'd get the amount of a couple of minutes, which is enough.
Hmm.
But yeah,
So,
there's you want vitamin D from the sun. So
mm,
it's if you wear it, it doesn't block everything. It just blocks more so you don't get damaged.
yeah, yeah. Thank you again. So we have bar soaps, and bar soaps are kind of the replacement of, let's say, body wash. But then body wash is not the replacement of facial wash, and facial wash is different than cleanser. So, can you explain those three elements if you don't mind?
Yeah, so I'll start with the body because it's easiest. Yeah, actually, it started with bars of soap. Guys only started using body wash 10 to 20, 25, something like that, in that range. It used to be only for women for body wash, and then it was just easier than a bar of soap because it's just a thing you squirt it. So body wash is actually the newer product. That's made with certain ingredients that again, it's supposed to cleanse without stripping your body of oil, but like it doesn't need to be quite as delicate as the facial cleansers. Your face
Mm,
skin is thinner, there's different pH levels. It's just in general much more sensitive, and also you're a little more cautious because anything you put on it will be, if you get redness from it, seen versus something you cover with clothing.
mm,
So that's body wash. Then a bar of soap is just that. It's soap. Soap is a specific chemistry, specific formulas that make soap. Cleansers are different. While they clean, but they actually don't have soap in them. So that's
mm,
kind of the main confusing thing that we're already working on, that kind of wording and education for our customers. Like a facial cleanser does not have soap in it. It
mm,
cleanses, and cleanse is a fancy word for clean that just suggests, because a facial cleaner sounds like, an at-home product that you clean counters for. So they
mm,
switched it to cleanser.
mm,
It's at least why I think they did it, because it's just differentiated. So, yeah, I mean, look, if you use hand soap from the sink or dish soap, it will clean your face, but again, it will take everything off with it and probably leave some negative chemicals behind.
impact.
So that's it. Will it clean what you need it to clean? Will it leave what it's supposed to leave? And will it not leave negative things behind? That's what you
Mm,
have to look for in a cleanser.
mm, mm.
And of course, in 3 to 6 months, we'll be launching ours, so you won't have to look anymore.
Awesome, awesome. Thank you again for that. You know, back in the days, okay, they didn't have all these chemical, creams or even vegan creams or anything like that, right? What are the home remedies that people can do to take care of themselves besides drinking so much of water and dehydrate yourself and make
Um,
grow?
yeah,
So,
water's a big one. Watching the sun is an easy one. I mean, look, sugar is an enemy on all fronts. Like part of the reason that America has an obesity epidemic, diabetes, heart disease, all of these things, it really stems from too much sugar, inflammation issues all over the place. So I would watch sugar intake, especially sodas and things like that. I mean, I don't like diet specifically. I just eat kind of relatively healthy. I actually eat probably too much, but I'm in relatively good shape without needing to work out a lot because I don't have sodas and a couple of other things with sugar in it. I'm not saying don't ever have sugar. Some dessert here and there is fine, but like it's the sugar in every single thing we eat
mm,
that's a really big one.
mm,
So, hydration is huge. I mean, we're all dehydrated, especially if you are eating any sort of American diet. Every single thing I get from Trader Joe's, especially the frozen stuff, is like tons of salt. So you're almost dehydrated by virtue of that. Um, so yeah, you just hydrate. Sleep is another huge one. I think we all neglect sleep. Get 7 to 8 hours a night. You know, I mean, remote work should have helped a lot of Americans kind of get that commute time back. They should be trading that just right for sleep, if
mm,
possible.
mm. Yeah, thank you again. But then we get busy throughout the day, so again, when I asked you that first question, you asked, was it about money, or was it about efforts, or was it about time? And I think it's kind of all three of them. But I think time is
Yeah.
one thing that people don't tend to manage when it comes to skincare. Am I right or wrong on that?
Yeah. I mean, it's hard to manage all the things now. I feel like we're just inundated with things that take up our time. I mean, even if you just look at entertainment in our lives, right? I could go and watch anything on earth. I could play any game. My phone has games. There's video games. There's Netflix. There's YouTube. There's TikTok. There's a million things that can take up our time,
Hmm,
and they're very addictive. So we end up wasting a lot of free and productive time on those things. So Crete embraces that. What we like to do is we don't want to make you have to have a new behavior. What I
Mm,
wanna do is I want you to fit in Crete into your normal life, which is, again, why we call it 30-second skincare. Like, you
mm,
know how easy it is to use this?
mm,
1, 2, 3, 4, like that. I didn't, that's it. And we have that in our ads. We have full showing. It takes 6, 7 seconds. We
mm,
say it's under 30 because if we said it was under 10, no one would believe us. So,
mm.
it kinda just the phrase sounded better, 30-second skincare.
Awesome,
But
awesome.
it's like, that's pretty easy, man. I don't know how much easier we can make it.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you again for Jake. And we have actually started a new segment on season 3 when it comes to Back to Basics, which is the rapid fire round. There are some few words and sentences that I'm just going to mention, and the first thing comes out of your mouth, you're thinking when you hear these words, are you game for this?
Absolutely.
Awesome, awesome. So the first word is going to be money.
So I just say what first thing comes to my mind?
That's it.
Efficiency,
Skincare,
handsomeness,
investment,
ROI,
time,
limited, finite,
efforts,
maximum,
cleanser,
not soap,
soap.
use a cleanser.
Okay.
Easy.
Uh, serum,
Concentrated moisturizer,
SPF,
no skin cancer. Although we can't claim that, but just have to preface that.
water,
Hydration, life,
sugar,
tastes good, poison.
sodium,
Tastes good, less poison.
sleep.
Necessary.
Back to basics.
Fundamentals.
And the last one is Jake.
Hmm. Uh, Trying to optimize the limited time I have here on Earth.
Awesome. Jake, thank you again for playing that quick rapid fire for season 3. I hope you liked it. I hope I didn't
I
really
did.
crunch
It's
your
fun.
brain.
Makes you think because you don't have time to prepare. It's just like I like it.
Yeah, thank you again, Jake. But before you leave today, I wanted to ask you, it's skincare is an ongoing process. It is a never-ending process, right?
Mhm.
And it starts from baby all the way from baby booms all the way down till today, when we get older, right? Is it an everyday process, or is there a certain age group that we need to start thinking about this? Because I guess, the younger you are, the skin is so much better. I mean, this is
Yeah.
what I claim, but what are your thoughts on that?
Well, I would say that it's skin care. It's not a skin cure. We are aging beings. We are organic. We get issues. They come in and out of our lives. Even when you're younger, you might have skin issues, oily skin, acne. When you're older, signs of aging. When you're moved to Miami, all of a sudden, maybe you're getting more sunburns. It really depends on millions of variables that are with every individual person.
Hmm,
And so, yeah, the reason you want to do it every day, if possible, I will say if possible. Do I do it every day? No, I forget. And I run this stuff is free for me and I don't remember. That's the reality. That's why guys like our messaging. It's because I'm not trying to BS anybody. I'm trying to understand actual behavior. But we try to make it just so easy you can do it every day. And it's like brushing your teeth. It's like taking a shower. Do you need to brush your teeth every day?
hmm,
No, they're not gonna fall out if you miss a day or 2, but it's
hmm,
better if you do. So
hmm,
that's kind of it. It's again, like I said, it's skincare, it's not a skin cure. It
hmm,
makes things better, it treats various skin issues, and we make kind of generalist products that work for 90 something percent of everybody. We're not gonna make products that are very niche and specific because we want most guys and eventually girls to come here and say, "Okay, I want a moisturizer and a cleanser. 1, 2. Got it. I'm good. 30 seconds in, mail it to me for free. Done."
hmm. Jake, thank you again for that. But one last question, if you don't mind.
No, I don't.
I know that there's a lot of stereotype when it comes to concealers, when it comes to different genders, when we have these situations, and usually concealer are usually done by ladies, by
Totally.
women, right?
Yeah.
And how do we change that concept and that thought process that
So,
it's
yeah.
more for fixing than a cosmetic for a gender thing? Does that make sense?
Well, yeah, there's two things. The first is to remove the femininity from everything about the product experience. We have a pen, it's a click pen, it's called a camo pen, like camouflage, right? If we market it as no one's going to even know you're wearing it and it's just good for pimples and scars and dark circles and things like that, then okay, that takes care of a bunch of the fundamental issues about it. Don't call it, NARS, which is a great concealer company. It's not for guys. It's a glass bottle. It has a little fluffy tip. Their tones are all called desserts like creme brulee and custard. Like my tone in NARS is custard. I didn't feel comfortable buying that. So that's one of the first things. The
Hmm.
second thing is a real differentiation of what are these products actually versus what are the products that females have been using throughout time for more beautification. You
Hmm.
know, like, do I need to cover myself in foundation, lipstick? No, those are makeup. Those are things that don't serve a functional tool for my skin health and my skin appearance from what a guy would want.
Hmm.
Concealer skirts the line because, for instance, this is without, I've had this scar for a couple years. You can see it. If I do this with concealer, 5 seconds, disappears. I
Hmm.
shave, I have an ingrown hair, disappears. It's like, I don't see anything feminine about that. There are certain biological reasons why we have some female cosmetics. Redder lips suggests better blood flow, which suggests more fertility. Like, there are genuine scientific reasons why makeup is makeup.
Hmm.
I don't need to suggest that. That doesn't suggest the same thing in a man wearing it.
Hmm.
So, guys can do whatever they want, look however they want, but those aren't the functionally important products that we're trying to do. We're trying
Yeah.
to make your skin healthier and look better because it's healthier. And then if there's a couple things to just cover up here and there, dab it with some concealer.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you again. I really wanted to make sure that people understand, whoever's listening here, that there is a difference between a cosmetic
Mhm.
cream versus caring for your skin
Yeah.
cream is different. So thank you again, Jake, for clarifying that. And thank you again for coming to Back to Basics for season 3. But before you leave today, do you have any last words for all my viewers and my listeners? And how was your journey on Back to Basics?
Well, I love this. I thought your questions were great. The rapid fire section's fun. Anything that keeps me off my toes probably has me answering in a less practiced way, I'll say, because I've, been doing a bunch. But yeah, the one thing I would say is that, whenever you try to do anything like Crete, just know it's going to be 10 times harder and 10 times longer than what you think. You almost have to have this kind of like delusional, I can do it better. And then for a couple of years, you really work hard, and that's before you're selling anything. And then you start selling, and then it's just fixing problems every single day. If a problem comes up, figure out the best, fastest, most efficient way to fix it. And it's to me, it's my sport. I don't play basketball. I did some baseball and some martial arts and things, but like this has been my sport for 10 years as being an entrepreneur. So I wake
Mm.
up every day and I hit the gym. I'm reading books, I'm listening to podcasts, whatever.
Well, thank you again, and hopefully you'll be listening to Back to Basics when it comes to the podcasting world. But
Definitely,
thank you again,
absolutely.
Jake. Thank you again for coming here, and thank you again for supporting me on the small podcast that I have and sharing your small knowledge, whatever knowledge you have, when it comes to a little of cosmetic, but a lot of skincare. So thank you again for coming here.
Of course, thanks for having me.
Thank you. So, guys, we spoke with Jake today and we talked about the basics of skincare, didn't we? And we talked about that, well, skincare is needed in our lives. It's so much needed and there's so much investment in it, but it's a lot of time and effort that you need to put in. Now, there's one thing that we did say: cosmetic and skincare, two different things. Now, as usual, as always, there is a quote of the day from Back to Basics, and I hope Jake will like that quote. Invest in your skin. It is going to represent you for a very long time because it that defines you, doesn't it? I mean, it's just like what people say. Whatever you eat makes you, right? It's the same thing with the skincare. So take care of yourself too. And definitely, skin is the way to go. Guys, as usual, as always, what do we always say at the end of the episode? Everything in life goes back to basics, and that's what we did today, guys. Guys, take care, God bless, and I'll see you next time on Back to Basics.
My name is Jake Rosenberg. I'm the founder and CEO of Creep, 30-second skincare for men. Thanks, Back to Basics, for inviting me over. Keep on listening, and remember to subscribe. Also, remember everything is going back to basics.
Hi, guys. Thank you again for tuning in to Back to Basics and listening to the excellent episode that we had today with our guest. You know, with your love and support, we do need you to at least rate our show, review our show, because it does make us stronger day by day, week by week, as I usually say on my episodes. And there are three things in this episode that it makes a hit for me, which is the content, the guest, and definitely the host. So guys, take care, God bless, and remember, everything in life goes back to basics, and that's what we did today, guys. Guys, take care, God bless, and see you next time on Back to Basics.